Well, it is exactly 12 noon on the dot. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another SCORE webinar. I am your presenter, Toya Wilson Smith, and I am happy to be with you today. We are discussing how to stay in front of your customers during a crisis. Now, I know that this pandemic has most of us staying at home on most days. So I hope that you are keeping safe and healthy. But I did want to share this information. Our sponsor is SCORE right now, and we are a SCORE of Indianapolis, actually, and we're happy to have them. If you are not familiar with SCORE, please check them out. They are a great organization that has been coaching small business owners, entrepreneurs, and organizations for over 50 years. There is a SCORE office in every state of the country. So whether you are from our backyard right here in Indianapolis, or if you are in another state such as Pennsylvania, and I think I saw Florida in the chat, feel free to reach out to your local SCORE organization and schedule a mentoring session. As I said before, today's webinar is all about search engine optimization, and we're going to be talking about how you can use SEO to stay in front of your customers even throughout this pandemic. So if you have any questions, I will be checking the chat periodically. We are going to be going through some PowerPoint slides, and if we have time, we will actually be going into Google Live at the end of our webinar. Yes, we are recording, so if you don't have time to take down all the notes you want, don't worry about that. We will be sending the slides and the recording out after we finish today. So again, thank you for attending, and let's get started with our content. Now, if you have been on some of our marketing webinars before, you know that we like to start with engagement early. So I want to just pull the group and ask a quick question. Question number one is, how many online experiences start with a search engine? So let me explain the question, and then I want you to give me your best answer in the chat, right? So when I say how many online experiences start with a search engine, I mean how many people are actually logging on their computer, their tablet, or their smartphone, looking for something, and they start with looking for it in Google, Yahoo, Bing, or some other search engine. Is it A, 75% of the time? Is it B, the vast majority of the time? Or is it C, 54% of the time? Okay, please put your best answer in the chat. And we have a lot of people putting in the correct answer. So if you said B as in boy, 97%, you are exactly right. 97%, or the vast majority of online experiences, start with a search engine. We are logging on to Google, which of course is the most popular search engine out there most of the time when we are going online, especially from a computer or a tablet. So congratulations to all of you that gave the right answer. Now, one more question before we get started, and that speaks to the heart of our content today. Question number two, the final question for the day is, what strategy would best improve your search engine optimization? One more time. What strategy would best improve your search engine optimization? Is it A, 10 backlinks to large websites? Is it B as in boy, optimizing and claiming your Google My Business listing? Or is it C, having a YouTube channel? Let's see, this is not meant to be a trick question, but I have actually asked this question before, and it's always kind of a stumbling block. So give it your best guess. Okay. So, oh, I love the answer. No idea. Yes. If I wouldn't have been preparing for this, I probably would have said the same thing. Okay. So someone is asking me to repeat the options. The potential answers are A, backlinks to websites bigger than you, or B as in boy, your Google My Business listing, or C, is it your YouTube channel? So definitely quite a few of you have the right answer. So the best answer is B as in boy. So if you said B again, congratulations. If you did not, let me explain to you why all of the answers are correct. Okay, so I promise it was not a gotcha question. After I created it, I noticed that all of the answers could be a correct answer, but the best answer in this case is optimizing your Google My Business listing, and we are going to get into that in just a few minutes. The second best answer is having not necessarily a YouTube channel, but a YouTube video that is titled and has your best keywords in the description and tags. And then the answer A, 10 backlinks to larger websites never hurt any website in regards to search engine optimization. So if you can get backlinks to certain websites like Amazon, Huffington Post, or any website that has a large number of visits every single day coming into it, that is automatically going to assist in the ranking of your website. So all of the answers could be considered correct, but the best answer, right, which is the question, what strategy would best improve your SEO, is Google My Business. So are you all ready to get started? If you are, put yes in the chat. And we are having yeses, yeses, yes, please. Okay, so let's continue on. Let's talk about the definition of search engine optimization. This is the official definition. It's not my definition, but it's definitely the official definition. And it says the process of maximizing the number of visitors to a particular website by ensuring that the site appears high on the list of results returned by a search engine. Now, my definition is a little simpler than that. My definition is actually the process of having people find your digital marketing asset. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a website. It could be a landing page. It could be your YouTube channel. It could be your web store on Amazon. It could be any place you want to send traffic to by appearing easily on a search engine. So that's my definition, but hopefully you get the point. Now, we're going to cover today the 8 ways that a local business, a brand, or an entrepreneur can be found easily online. Now, I don't want to get too technical with you today because I want these strategies to be easy for you to implement. I'm giving you everything you need to know to be found on Google page 1, Yahoo, or Bing, if that is the search engine of your choice, right? By using just 1 or 2 of these strategies, but I'm going to give you 8 in case you have a problem with a few of them. Again, if you have any questions during the webinar, feel free to put them in the chat. We will be scrolling all the way back up. We will be checking them periodically, or you can wait until the end during our Q&A session, which will start in the last 15 minutes of our time together today. Now, the first strategy is using long-tailed keywords. Now, long-tailed keywords actually account for 70% of searches online. The example on the screen is Nike women's running shoes. So if you've ever looked for maybe an airline ticket, if you ever looked for an item of clothing to buy, or maybe a lawnmower since it's starting to warm up, then you may start doing a Google search or whatever your favorite search engine is, right? For a particular keyword. Now, if you are trying to sell something on the internet, this is a perfect opportunity for you. And I want you to understand that you want to put these long-tailed keywords everywhere online that you possibly can. That means that the long-tailed keywords should appear on the homepage of your website as well as product pages. Your long-tailed keywords should also appear in your Google My Business listing. Your long-tail keywords can appear in the video description, right? For your videos on YouTube, for your social media network accounts for your business or products being sold. So you have a ton of options on where to place your long-tailed keywords. But you might be wondering, hey, Toya, I don't know what my customers are really using to find products similar to mine. So you do your research. There are a couple of places, a couple of tools that you can use. Some are free, some are not. I like the Google Keyword Planner. That's a great tool to use to find out, number one, what long tail keywords are good for your industry or niche. You will also learn what competitors are using. If you are really good with using Google, the Google keyword tool, you can also find out what the monthly number of searches are. And there is another option called Google Trends. Now, you may have heard of the Google keyword tool, correct? But Google Trends is something that a lot of us don't use on a regular basis. And it's just trends, TREND as in David S. I like to know, for example, if I'm selling lawnmowers, tell me what month does the searches or the number of searches jump up versus the other times of the year where it may not be as many. Why would you want to know that? You may want to know that because maybe you want to run a promotion or a particular discount on your most popular product. You may need to know that because you need to buy more inventory. So if you are running a seasonal business, or if you're selling a product or a service that is affected by the changes in season or times of year, then you do want to make sure that you are using Google Trends. Now, Google has about 24 products that I absolutely love. We don't have time to go into all of them here, but Google My Business, Google Trends, and a little service for business owners, especially if you're a local business, called Google Guarantee. That's relatively new. It's been out for several months now, but I'm finding that people still don't know about it. And it's called Google Guarantee, and we will get into that in just a couple of slides. So back to tools to find out what your long tail keywords are that you should be using. If you don't like the Google Keyword Planner, that's fine. You can use Ubersuggest. You can use Moz Local. There are tons of them out there, and you can just put a search into Google or Yahoo about, hey, help me find a free or a great keyword tool. Okay? And for those of you that are leaving comments in the chat, I will be checking it in probably about 10 minutes from now. So keep up the engagement. I'm loving it. Thank you for working with me and leaving things in the chat. Now, let's talk about how you can use the long-tailed keywords. So one of my clients based in a coastal community called Southport, North Carolina, used this to their advantage. They are a wedding florist, right? They do other kinds of floral arrangements as well, but they make most of their money. So most of their bread and butter comes from brides looking for bridal bouquets and bouquets and boutonnieres for their wedding party. So when you type into the Google search box, wedding florist Southport NC, before they started working with us, they were not in the first page of Google. Okay, now you can see when you type that in, there's 83,000 results, but they are first in terms of the Google My Business listing. So they are closely followed by 2 of their competitors, but they are first, right? And so you want to claim and optimize your Google My Business listing. And you see, I use 2 words, right? 2 verbs. Claim is one part, that's part 1, that's step 1, and then optimize is step 2. So how do you really go to getting at the top of Google page 1 for your long tail keyword? In the example, it's wedding florist Southport, NC, right? It could be locksmith Indianapolis, or florist Avon, Indiana, or we'll say, I don't know, web designer Fishers, Indiana, right? How do you go to start getting into the Google My Business listing and ranking in the first 3 listings? First of all, as I said before, you have to claim your listing. Now, Google My Business is the first and the easiest way to get to Google page 1. But let's say the competition is fierce. Let's say you are competing against business owners that really know their stuff. They've invested a lot of time or a lot of money, and you're finding it difficult to get your Google My Business listing in what I call the Google 3-pack. Used to be the Google 5-pack, it used to be the Google 7-pack, but we are seeing the number of listings decrease because Google recognized some years ago that more people were doing local searches in particular on their mobile devices. So 7 listings weren't going to easily fit on most smartphone screens, so they decreased it down to 3. First of all, you want to verify your, or I should say, claim and verify your Google My Business listing. Now, on the next slide, you will see the actual URL or web address to go and claim your listing if you haven't done so already. How to check to make sure that your business has been claimed, if you're unaware, is if you put into Google search the business name, or we'll say your industry, and you should be able to see that your business might come up, a listing might come up, and if it says, do you know the owner, or are you the owner of this business? That means your Google My Business listing needs to be claimed, right? And you can just click on that link where it says yes or no, and it's right underneath the box on the right hand side of the screen. Or you can go to the website for Google My Business and start to claim your listing that way. Okay, so there are a couple of different options that you can do, but you want to make sure that after you claim it, you verify your listing. Now, if you're one of the lucky people that I've had an opportunity to work with, that, or I should say similar to the people I've worked with in the past, some people actually can verify their listing through a text message, right? So you can just submit your phone number to Google. They will actually send you a text to verify your listing. However, 85 to 90% of people have to do it the old-fashioned way, which is wait for the yellow or gold color postcard to come in the mail to the physical address associated with your business. And it takes typically 5 to 10 business days, and then you actually go back into your Google My Business listing and put in the code that is written on the back of the postcard. That's how most people have to verify their listing, okay? Once you verify your listing, then you want to get into optimizing it. But I'm going to save that for a little bit later. Now, I told you that if you had not claimed your Google My Business listing, the website is on the screen, right? www.google.com/business. You can sign in with your Gmail address. You have to have a Gmail email address to claim your listing. Okay, so it would be toya.wilsonsmith@gmail.com, whatever your Gmail email address. Once you claim your listing, you have to verify it. And I told you the 2 primary ways to verify your listing. Okay. So I said that I would check in the chat really quickly if you all had any questions. Okay. Yes, check. So if you have a blue circle with a check, that is one way that you can claim it. Okay, you can claim your listing. So I'm loving the engagement in the chat, so keep it up. I appreciate that. And now let's talk about how to optimize your listing. Now, I'm not going to give you everything right now at this point, but I am going to drop the easiest ways to optimize your listing. And then we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the webinar. So once you go to the Google My Business page, it will look something like this, right? And you can click on the blue button where it says Manage Now. So I want to actually walk through the image you see in the smartphone, right? So you see the name of the business, in this case, Chicago Music Exchange, the number of ratings that they have. So they have a 4.8 star ranking, which is amazing. And the category, they're a guitar shop, right? And then below that, you see their address or their location. So you want to make sure that you do 3 things right off the bat. First thing, and this is super duper important. So if you're taking notes, put a star behind this. You have to make sure that your NAP, N as in Nancy, A as in Apple, P as in Paul, your NAP is correct. And it's the same across every place you show up online. So the acronym NAP stands for name, address, and telephone number. Again, it's name, address, and telephone number. Now, why is this important? Because Google is going to be verifying your listing, and the first thing that's going to do is verify that your business name, address, and phone number can be found across different places on the internet. So it's going to be using its robots to compare, right, based upon other maybe directory listings. Maybe you have put a Facebook page out there or you're on Yelp. It's going to be comparing that information, right? Now, it will go ahead and verify your listing, but it's going to be hard to rank it in the Google 3-pack if it is not consistent, that NAP is not consistent with other places you show up online. So make sure that everywhere you show up online has the name, address, and phone number of your business spelled the same way. Now, you might not think this is a big deal, but a few years ago, we worked with a client that had in their address street and a suite number. It was suite B, I believe. And we didn't understand why, because their listing was optimized and using the other strategies I'm going to share with you in every other way. However, what happened is a cautionary tale to us all. They did not spell the word street. And so when I say spelled, I mean in some places it was completely spelled out, STREET. In other places, it was the abbreviation, ST period. And that was throwing Google off. The other issue was suite was also done the same way, right? On their website, it was spelled SUITE. On their Google My Business listing, it was STE period. On their Facebook page, it was ST or something, some other variation. So however you spell the address of your business on your website, make sure it's spelled the exact same way on your Google My Business listing and every other digital marketing asset that you have. Now, you may say, okay, I'm not even sure where I show up online. I can't remember what directories we've claimed listings on, or I hired someone several years ago and I don't know where they put our business up there. All I know is I used to rank on top of Google and now I don't. Moz Local, which I actually gave you that hint a little bit ago, MOZ is how you spell it, will allow you to do a little bit of research for free. You can actually take a look at the top 15 directories. So Yelp, YP or Yellow Pages, there are quite a few other ones, White Pages, Hot Frog, all of the popular ones, and they will tell you what your listing is. So how you spelled the address or the name of the business, the phone numbers, if you have pictures or what have you. The more those directories are completely and consistently filled out, the better and faster your ranking is. So take that hint, go and just double check and make sure that you have done that. The next factor in ranking on the top of Google is going to be your number of ratings, so your number of reviews. Now, you need to have at least 5, and you want to make sure that those reviews, while albeit they're fair reviews and an accurate reflection of your customer service and your business, you want to really make sure that it's at least 4 stars, right? Doesn't have to be a perfect 5, but it's at least 4. And the quicker you can get to 5+ reviews, the better it is. Okay. Now, the rest of the tips I'm going to go through pretty quickly. You can, do you see where it says photos? So it says overviews, photos, posts, and about. You want to make sure you have at least 10 to 15 photos. Don't ask me why that number is. I don't know. We've just tested it over hundreds of clients, and 10 to 15 seems to be the magic number. Err on the side of 15, more than 10. And now, Google My Business allows you to put in a video. So Google owns Yahoo. That means that they think video is what? Important. So don't neglect adding a short video into your Google My Business listing. It really will help in getting your rankings higher. Now, Google allows you to post just like Facebook and or Instagram or LinkedIn or Snapchat or Twitter as well. The post on the Google My Business will expire after 7 days. So you want to actually schedule to do that on a regular basis. But that also helps because you are using Google, right? Google My Business as a social media network. So try to do that on a regular basis. And then the about section. Remember when we talked about the long tail keywords, phrases? Make sure that in the about section, I like 3 paragraphs of 3 sentences each in the about section, right? You're using those long-tailed keywords. That also helps with your search engine optimization. So if you have any questions about your Google My Business listing or anything that I just spelled out, please put it in the chat. That's where I'm going to be looking for your questions, okay? So let's take a look at an example. Let's go behind the scenes because I want to really show you how Google My Business listings can help with your search engine optimization. Now you can see that Google is saying to everyone that there is limited functionality during the pandemic right now. So there's some things that you can't do with your listing. So if someone reviews are very slow to be added, you can't reply to those reviews right away. And when I say you can't, you can, but it's not going to show up. So the things that you could do, right? So if you want to change your address, those are things that are going to be approved. They're just not going to be approved as quickly as they normally would. So go ahead and do it, but understand that it may take some days, even weeks at this point before it is approved, okay? So this is a Google My Business listing that we manage. And so what I want you to see is create posts, add photos, and create ads are one of the things that you want to pay attention to. So remember I said you can create a post every 7 days. So you want to make sure that you're creating a post on a regular basis. Now, if you have not added photographs to your Google My Business listing in a couple of years, now is the time to do that. And you can always use create ad if you have an ad budget, but you don't have to have an ad budget to work with Google My Business. Now, the final thing that I want to say about your Google My Business listing is please make sure that you are paying attention to performance. How many people are viewing your listing? How many people are searching for it? How many people are looking at your photographs? If the trend is going up, right, you need to actually pat yourself on the back. If it's going down, make sure that you understand why and you create a plan to combat that. Okay. But if you don't check it, you don't know. Now, I've seen businesses that don't check their reviews and they may have a negative review. And that's not a bad thing because every business has, a disgruntled customer from time to time. When you don't respond to your bad review, that is the issue. So you want to make sure that you respond in a timely manner to your negative reviews or all of your reviews. And so that means you need to be checking it at least once every 2 or 3 weeks. Now, another way that you can check it is using Google Alerts. So Google Alerts will allow you to put in an email address, right, into that particular website. And every time the name of your business, the name of your competitor even, or your personal name as the owner of the business is mentioned anywhere online, guess what? Google sends you an alert with a link to that website. That's kind of nice, right? So you don't have to keep logging in every week to check this if you don't want to. You can set an alert and just get notified when an event happens. So let's check the chat just quickly and see if there are any questions. Okay, so a couple of questions, and I'm going to take the time to answer those really quickly right now. What if you don't have a physical address and you provide a remote service from home? There is, Suzanne, a place when you claim your listing, right, or can do edits, and you can actually say you work from home. You can say that you provide a service to a certain area. And so then Google is going to ask you for a listing of the zip codes or that area that you provide. So yes, if you don't have a physical address, you can still claim your Google My Business listing, not a problem. Now, Mike asked, does that hold true for non-location based businesses? I think, Mike, that your question is similar to Suzanne. Can you claim your Google My Business listing if you don't have a physical address, a business? Yes, you can still claim your listing. You just want to say you provide a service and your service area or your service geography is XYZ. So Aisha has asked that you heard Google's getting rid of reviews. Is that accurate? That's been a rumor, Aisha, for a long time. I have not heard that to be true as of yet. I'm sure that there are probably some businesses that will be happy to, get rid of reviews, but I don't see Google getting rid of reviews anytime soon. So that's been a rumor, but I don't know that that is true. And Prentice saying never use a PO box. People that use a PO box, Prentice, sometimes get, we'll say, how can I put it? You can get dinged, right, if you use a PO box. So I probably would stay away from doing that. You want to make sure that you just you tell Google that you have a service area, right? And if you have a service area, they won't even ask for your address. Okay. And yes, you can still make it to the top of Google without a physical address. Shannon, you create your business listing by going to the URL that I said, or you can just put Google My Business into the search and go there. So let's keep going. I will go back and check some more questions in just a little bit, but I want to make sure I get through all of these strategies before we run out of time. Okay, now I've been telling you quite a few of the Google services or products that you have, right? And one, and you all can tell me in the chat if you've heard of Google Guarantee or if it is new. Google Guarantee is the shortcut way to get to page one, but it's particularly useful for certain businesses. So in this example, I found a roofer in Tallahassee, Florida, that actually has signed on to the Google Guaranteed service. So if you are a locksmith, if you are, we'll say, a home cleaning company, right? You have a cleaning company, whether it's residential or commercial. Restaurants can actually participate in this as well. So there are certain industries that Google Guarantee would be more useful than others. Okay. So Google Guarantee allows you to just really leapfrog over the Google My Business listings. So as you can see, you're above even the ads. So it's a special ad that Google will provide you with, and they actually give you a green check, right, in a circle with the Google guaranteed stamp. And if you have reviews and a local physical address, that is really helpful, right? So here's the caveat though. You only pay for this listing when people click on it. Let me say that one more time. You only pay for the listing, for the ad, because it's a type of ad. You only pay for it when people click on it. So that's going to be beneficial because it saves on your ad budget, okay? So one of the things that you want to do, if you're interested in the service and you see it's local services by Google, you can type again into Google search. Just like you would type Google My Business is the first organic search result. You can actually type in Google Guarantee and this will come up. So you see that the overview is pretty simple and straightforward. You want to sign up as a service provider, right? Tell Google what services you offer. And then they're just going to verify again your listing. They also want to make sure that, especially if you're a roofer or a commercial cleaning company, that you're bonded and insured, right? So that's what they're really checking for if you're in a particular industry, I should say. Then you're going to set your budget because remember I said it was a type of ad. So you're going to set your budget per week based upon the number of leads. I see that most people are using at least $100. So you have to actually have a little bit of a budget, somewhere between $400 to $500 for Google Guarantee to really work for you. And then you turn it on, right? And let me just say it one more time. You only pay when people click on your listing. But if they click on your listing, it is probably a good bet that they're interested in doing business with you. So they're going to click on your listing, find out more information about you, get your phone number, and then call you. So definitely, if you have an ad budget, something to consider and try. But again, I would say be looking to spend or at least have a budget of between 400 to 500. Now you can do something a little bit lower than that, but if you're working on an ad budget of like $100, then I suggest that you save that and do some social media ads that are less expensive than Google Guarantee. Okay. So number 2, strategy that really has to do with inbound marketing. Create more content than your competition. Now, content marketing has been around for several years, and I am amazed that people still don't really take it seriously. But content marketing costs 62% less than other marketing strategies. So we just finished talking about Google Guarantee, and I said you needed to have an ad budget right between at least $300 and up. So that can be kind of expensive for a local business, especially in the day and age that we're living in right now with COVID-19 affecting a lot of businesses, right? So content marketing can actually generate 3 times more leads, and they are usually serious because you've given them great information. They look at you as the authority. So they are most interested then probably in at least starting with talking to you for a particular service, right? So what kind of content could you create? Well, let me give you a couple of examples. First example is you can do a guide. So in this case, I use video marketing for my search term, right? And HubSpot, which is a company that specializes in email marketing, CRM work, like customer relationship marketing, um, actually created the ultimate guide to video marketing. And you can see it's the first organic search result. So what I mean by organic is simply it is not an ad. So you can see that there are 4 companies on the screen, starting with Genius Monkey Video Ads, that are paying for ads. Now, here's the interesting thing to know. Most of the time, we filter out the ads and we go to the organic search result. About 70%, 75% of the time. So would it be nice to be sitting in that position? Yes, it would be. Now, let's say the competition again is fierce and you can't rank on Google page 1 because there's a place like HubSpot. Let's say you're a local videographer. What could you do? You could write a blog, and you see the impact of monthly blog posts on inbound traffic is pretty high. The more blog posts you write, the higher the number of people visiting your website goes. But what if you tell me, I'm not really a writer. I don't like to write that much, so that really wouldn't work for me. Well, that's okay. I mean, I completely understand. There are other types of content marketing. So you could do podcasts. You could do videos, right? You could do webinars like this one. You could do checklists or create a quiz. So there are different types of content marketing that you can use that will help speak to the problems of your ideal client. So don't negate this. And usually once you create, we'll say 3 to 5 different really good pieces of content, that's all you need to do. You just need to keep putting it out in front of your audience in different ways. So you don't have to write, you don't want to, an ebook every single month. You can write one great ebook and just keep marketing it over and over again. I have a video called How to Get Listed on TripAdvisor. I did this accidentally, but hey, accidents work, right? And that video is on Google page 1 for how to get listed on TripAdvisor. So if you aren't camera shy, or even if you just want to capture your screen while you speak over it, video, because YouTube is owned by Google, hint, hint, is a great way to do that. Okay, so let's go on to strategy number 3. If you are going down the content route, yes, then you want to really develop great headlines, not only for your content, but also for your website to increase CTR. Now, CTR is click-through rate, right? So after you create the really great content or after you've invested a lot of money for your website, make sure that you have really good headlines for things like that. So an example that I have on the screen is how I use these 5 secret strategies to XYZ, right? How I use these 5 secret strategies to rank on Google page 1. We all like a good secret, right? So it kind of actually will be a psychological trigger to get people to click on our piece of content or our landing page or our website more than the others. Don't estimate, or I should say, don't underestimate a good headline. So if you've taken the time to create really great content, then you want to make sure that the headline gets people to click. Okay. Now, strategy number 4 is getting press. You want to make sure that you can get a free interview every now and then. We all have heard the term, the best press is free press. And lots of us as business owners and entrepreneurs have paid to advertise in magazines or on website directories or in, we'll say, Chamber of Commerce communication, like an email blast, right? So if you don't have a huge advertising budget, try this. Try pitching your story to a local reporter. You can write an article for the local newspaper or magazine, such as an op-ed, or you can use one of my favorite tools, which is called Payroll, and it stands for Help a Reporter Out, and getting interviewed that way. Or you can actually do a round of podcast interviews. Podcasters are always looking for people to interview, and you can reach a brand new audience. So don't, again, underestimate the ability to use free press to get out in front of a brand new group of people. It helps with your search engine optimization because, especially if you can get ranked for, I don't know, your local newspaper, they have some probably more website visitors than you on a regular basis. So Gramland Attractions, which is the Google My Business listing example I used before, actually was interviewed by the local news station in Wilmington, North Carolina, which is the nearby major city. That listing on their website and on their YouTube channel still comes up on Google page 1. And that was 2 years ago. So free press, especially when it's with the local radio station, a local newspaper, or magazine, will serve you well for years to come. So I've been talking about video. My first suggestion was to add video to your Google My Business listing. My second suggestion was really don't forget to use a YouTube video, right? With your long tail keywords in the title and the description and the tags. Because Google owns YouTube, Google actually has an affinity. They like good videos that help their users solve problems. So you can start a YouTube channel if you want to, but you don't need to, right? You can actually just create 2 or 3 videos and use your long tail keywords in the title, the description, and the tags to rank in Google. Now, remember, I said I did a video about how to get listed on TripAdvisor. Now, I did it for a client some years ago. I forgot to put that video on private, so it was a public video. Google found it and decided to rank it on page 1 for that search term. Now, that was an accident, but since then, I was actually decided to be deliberate. So I'm asking you to do the same. If the competition is fierce for your industry or niche, consider doing some videos. Now, you don't have to hire a videographer. That's not what I'm recommending. I'm recommending that you get your smartphone out, right? Get a tripod or have someone film it for you and start making the videos on your own. You might just be surprised that your video will show up one day on first the YouTube page 1 for your industry or niche, and then Google page 1. Now, last thing that I have to say on video is that Google across the country and internationally are blending their video results from YouTube page 1 with the Google search results, right? So those algorithms are blending. So now if you take a look at certain keyword phrases, right, put certain keyword phrases into Google, you will see videos ranking on Google page 1. So it will be some organic search results, and then about 3 to 4 search results down, you'll see 2 or 3 videos listed there. So you want to make sure before Google gets to your local area and your niche or industry that your video is there for the choosing to be on Google page 1. Okay. Now, what does that look like? Let me walk you through how that is happening. You see all on the left-hand side of the screen, and I'm using the example again, Wedding Florist, Southport, NC. So you should see all. That's where most people reside, right? That's where most people stay. But Google itself just last year said 28% of folks will leave the all tab and go to images or videos. So even if you're not on Google page one under all, if you're on the videos tab, page one, that would help drive some traffic, right, from Google search into your website or your landing page or your social media accounts, correct? Yes. So Wedding Florist Southport NC has not wanted to create a lot of videos and go after this because they're already ranking their Google My Business listing in the Google 3-pack on the top. So they have as much business as they can handle for right now. But what if that changes? If it does change, then this is an opportunity for them because you can see Wedding Florist, Southport, NC, none of the top businesses in that industry, in that local area, is going after YouTube videos. So you see 2018 and we're now in, or it's 2020, and these videos all from the same company, right? Actually published these videos in 2018 and they're still ranking. So that's an opportunity. So I encourage you to check the YouTube or the videos tab for your local industry or niche. See what the competition is doing. You might just be surprised the opportunity that exists for your local business in regards to video. Now, strategy number 6 is really a little technical. I'm going to ask you to get rid of your extra pages on your website. Now, if your website was done 5+ years ago, which for some of us that could be a true statement, then you probably did what most businesses did. You had a home page, you had an about page, you had a page for each one of your products or services, you had a contact us page, you had a blog page potentially. So you had probably 5 to 10 pages. Now, what Google is saying to us is that pages that don't attract any visitors, so people land on your homepage and they don't go to any of those other pages, Google's algorithm will penalize you for that. You don't want to get penalized, so you want to delete those pages. Right now, really 90 to 120 seconds is the average time that anyone spends on a website anymore. So you want to make sure that you're utilizing the pages that are most popular and you get rid of anything extra. The most popular pages right now are the homepage, number 1, and number 2, the about page. So you want to get people to spend more time on your homepage and your about page, okay? If you don't believe me, take it from Google. Google published this article. Someone published this article, right? It was an employee of Google that says they prefer one stronger page versus many smaller pages. Now, there are templates that actually will allow you to create one longer website, one longer page website versus multiple pages. Strikingly.com is one of my favorites. Wix and Weebly and WordPress have these variations or these templates as well, but Strikingly is really user friendly. And why would you say, if you had to guess, would this be preferred? Anybody have a guess? Potentially? Okay, well, let me tell you. We're using mobile devices, right? More and more. So smartphones that have a little bit larger screen will allow us to navigate websites. So if we can just scroll down one website and get all the information that we need and stay on that website a little bit longer, that's probably more beneficial because we're staying on Google longer. So typically, if we have to jump from tab to tab or page to page, how do you do that without it becoming a little annoying on your smartphone? because 70% of searches, especially local searches, are what? Done on a mobile device. So make sure, again, strategy, kind of technical if you didn't create your own website, just go into Google Analytics, see where most people are landing when they visit your website. Whatever those last 2 or 3 pages in terms of traffic, as long as it's not the home page or the about page, you need to consider taking that content and putting it on a more popular page, right, on your website, or just changing the whole template as well. Okay, so let's keep going because then we can get to our questions, right? Now, I said that I wasn't going to give you all of my tips and tricks, but I was going to give you the majority of them to optimize your Google My Business listing and your other social media profiles, okay? So again, optimizing your Google My Business listing is going to be key. It is the fastest and easiest way to get to Google page 1. But now I'm going to give you some technical advice, okay? So the technical advice may be a little confusing for some, but if it is, feel free to put the question in the chat. Remember when I said a little while ago that you want to add 10 to 15 pictures to your Google My Business listing and a video? Well, those pictures don't need to be named just anything, right? Like we'll say Wilson Locksmith image 1. Name those image files a long-tailed keyword. So I hope that you're seeing what the point I'm trying to make. Long-tailed keywords are important for search engine optimization, right? Because we're going to use them in our Google My Business description. We're also going to use them in our social media about descriptions. We're also going to use them in the titles of our videos and our video descriptions and tags. The other place that you can use long-tail keywords is in the name of your images. So all 10 to 15 images need to have a proper title, okay, before you upload it into Google My Business or your other social media profiles. That's a little unknown trick to most of us. Now, SEO specialists have been doing it for a while. So you want to consider doing that. The other strategy, and I'll get into this in our last strategy as well, but the other trick is backlinks. Remember when we were going through the quiz questions, I said that backlinks probably isn't the best or the easiest way to rank on Google page 1, but it is still a popular way. It is still a way to do it. So one of the things that you can do is you can go guest blog, right? You can go and make sure that all of your listings on directories are properly filled out using Moz Local. You can then go and make sure that you have backlinks to things like podcasts, right? Because podcasts are typically on Google page 1 for certain keywords for the industry or niche or the name of the podcast. So there's several different ways you can do that, but you do want to make sure that you have at least 5 backlinks to websites bigger and more popular than yours. Now, if you can do a backlink to Amazon, right, because you might be selling something on Amazon as an Amazon seller, great. CNN is another option because you can even just comment with the link to your website on one of the articles. Be creative, think it through, and then get to work. You can do all of this work in a weekend, typically. Okay, now, before we get to our very last strategy, the chat has been lighting up and I'm loving it. So I'm just going to start from the most recent comment. And the question is, what is a backlink? Okay, so a backlink is simply an established relationship between 2 places online, right? If I had an example to give, let's say I did a guest blog post for Huffington Post. I published an article on the Huffington Post website, and they gave me an author bio. So what I would do is say, hey, or Toya Wilson-Smith is a digital marketing consultant, blah, blah, blah. Connect with her on her website, nextgenerationdigitalmarketing.com. And there would be that nextgenerationdigitalmarketing.com would be a link. So that is a backlink. So it's linking from Huffington Post website to my website. That's a backlink. I hope that makes sense. Please let me know if it makes sense in the chat. Okay. So good. Okay. We are running early. So since we were running early, I'm going to get a chance to answer all of your questions and go and show you some things, hopefully online. Strategy number 8. Not the most popular strategy, but definitely if you have everything else done, a good strategy to do. People still love infographics. Does everybody know what an infographic is? An infographic is an image, right, with a ton of pictures or statistics or things like that. It's a really nice way to consume a lot of data or a lot of content. So if you are aware of Canva, canva.com, C-A-N-V as in Victor A, canva.com allows you to create an infographic for free. You don't have to have a paid account. There is a paid or premium option, but you can use a free account to create an infographic. When you're guest blogging, that is a great way to incorporate images into your information, right? And then you can say, hey, if you want to grab a copy of this infographic, or you can link, right? You can do a backlink to the infographic image. That is a great way to get more traffic to your website. So infographics are still wildly popular. If you don't like video and you don't like to write blog posts, then consider an infographic. Okay, so definitely not the most popular strategy, but a strategy that should be on your content marketing plan. So those are our 8 strategies. Are they pretty simple? Put it in the chat if you think you can do at least one of these strategies by the end of the week to help with your search engine optimization. Okay, Don said, love these. Trisha said, yes. Chuck said, I posted on Google My Business. I love it. Yes, you can do more than one. I would prefer that you do them all, but I'm going to take it easy on you and do them, at least do 1 or 2 this week, okay? Aisha said, definitely. Angela, you're welcome for the information. I hope that it was helpful. Now, we have plenty of time left to answer your questions. So if you have a specific question, please put it in the chat. Kalia, you said you need tips for real estate. So let me show you an example. I'm going to stop sharing for just a minute. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into Google and YouTube because I want to use some real life examples. If you want me to use your business, right? If you want to be the guinea pig and you want me to use your business, put that in the chat while I change over, okay? Because we certainly have the time to do that. And to me, sometimes real life examples actually help. So if you have a Google My Business listing and you haven't been able to rank it, or for whatever reason, you have a specific question, please let me know. But I'm going to do a real estate example, right? And we're going to say realtors in Bloomington, Indiana as part of our example. And I'm going to use YouTube also as an example, just to illustrate my points. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen again, and I see that there's been some information in the chat. Thank you. For that, I will check it in just a little bit. So what you should be seeing on the screen is a YouTube page, right? You should be seeing a YouTube page, and I'm going to actually change over to another tab. So let's just say we're talking about real estate in this case. I put into Google search realtors in Bloomington, Indiana. You will see ads come up first all the time. Yes, we're used to seeing that. Whether we're on our laptop computers or our phone, we're probably so used to seeing that we just typically will filter them out, especially on social media. So let's go down, and then you see the Google 3-pack. Now, do you see what Google is starting to do? It's not for every niche or industry across every local area, but it is coming. So now all of a sudden we're starting to see an ad at the top. So they're the organic search engine, right? Or the organic Google My Business listings, the Google 3-pack, and now they're starting to put an ad at the top. So one of the things that you can take a look at, and so I gave you the strategies for Google My Business listing that will help get you to Google 3-pack, but it also depends on what your competition is doing. So what you want to do is come in here and you want to look at what your competitions looks like. Now, if you're not in the Google 3-pack at all, then you're going to start possibly with the third search engine or the third result in the Google 3-pack. So you see that they only have 2 reviews, right? So the first one has 7, the second one has 57. This one only has 2. So if we click into the listing, and I do apologize because we're streaming live, it's taking a little bit of time, right? So now after the ad, we're clicking into the listing, and we saw the 2 Google reviews, we saw the category, and now we're looking at the pictures, right? So the reviews are good. What don't we see? We don't see that they have done any Google My Business post, because remember I said that there was an option you can do posts. They expire every 7 days. They actually have quite a few pictures. So if we count it, it looks like they have at least 10 or 12, right? But what we don't see is we also don't see a video, correct? So that's where you start. You're like, well, I can at least unseat the third person. I need 4 reviews. I would say double the number of reviews that they have. So I need at least 4 reviews. And then I need to add at least 15 pictures and a video. And I need to actually use Google My Business post as well. So what is the other thing that I'm going to take note of? Here's a hint. Remember when I said that if you see on this business, that means that person hasn't claimed the listing. So that is from a competitive standpoint, one thing that I'm going to be super excited about, because now I know that this particular business hasn't even claimed their listing. So all I have to do is claim and optimize my listing and sit back and wait a couple of weeks. Well, now it's going to be a little bit longer because edits and things like that are taking longer to review. So maybe several weeks, and wait for my hard work to pay off. Does everybody see that? Does everybody understand what I'm doing here. I just took evaluation of what my competitors were doing and then decided how I can take advantage of that. Now, again, you can also take a look and see what is down here. So I see Yelp has a directory, so I may want to get into this list here, right? Zillow actually has a listing, so I was looking for TripAdvisor. I don't see anything from TripAdvisor there. But one thing that we didn't talk about is the fact that we can come down here to the bottom and we can look at other related keyword phrases that Google is saying are popular. So maybe we can't rank for realtors in Bloomington, Indiana right off. Maybe we need to rank for homes for sale near me, or houses in Bloomington for rent, or homes for sale Monroe County, Indiana, right? Or even Bloomington, Indiana news. If this is proven, this keyword phrase that you're using, that is what you prefer, that's your number one, right, keyword phrase, consider ranking for some of these other ones first and then move to your number one keyword phrase. Okay. The other thing that I want to show you is, because remember I said videos are coming, right? So right here under more, I can go and take a look at videos. Now, the number one ranking video was published in 2017. There was a video published in March of this year, so by somebody totally new. There's another video that was published in March of this year by someone totally different. So that means there's opportunity to rank easier in YouTube. So I'm going to take advantage of that. Okay. So let me show you really quickly what I said about Google integrating video search results with organic search results under all, right? So if we take a look and go from video to all, do you see how it has ads here, right? Then it has what is called a feature snippet. And a feature snippet is when Google goes out and finds information online that they feel is better than the rest of the content. They will actually feature this in a snippet. Sometimes it's a video, sometimes it's images, and sometimes it is literally all text. But you see that here's a snippet, right? And then after the snippet, we see people also ask. And then we see TripAdvisor has a couple of results. So I have 1, 2, 3 here, actually 4. Then this is someone else. And then here are the videos. Remember I said that Google is integrating video search results with organic text search results that we're used to seeing. And you see, I was telling you the truth. That's my name, right? 5 years ago, this video is still here. And then you can go and see some other videos, and then you see the rest of the organic search results. And then you have the searches related on how to get listed on TripAdvisor. Okay. So let's go back to our real estate example. Now we saw that there were opportunities, right, to maybe not get ranked in the Google 3-pack, but like in the next week or two, but we could certainly rank for a YouTube video. Here is Realtors Wilmington, North Carolina, right? So in this case, there's 1, 2, Jessica Riffle Edwards. She has 2 right at the very top. And then she has a 3rd one, all on YouTube page 1. And then there's some ads. So would I like to dominate YouTube, understanding that there is a chance for Google to integrate, because they own YouTube videos, into organic search results at some point? Yes. So you don't want to just show up. You also want to dominate that. And you can do that just by using video. Okay. So does everybody understand what I'm saying? And I'm going to go back into the chat. Give me a second. And Kurt, yes, the slideshow is going to be available. We're going to be sending out the slides and a replay of this webinar by the end of this week. And also, does this all work for a national brand, not just local company? Chuck, yes, it does work for a national brand, but the competition may be a little bit more fierce on a national level. It depends on the industry. But I would start with these strategies. If you find that the competition is stiff, what I would do is work on those backlinks and content marketing in particular. Okay. I have some examples here. Thank you all for volunteering. Okay. Someone put, I just looked at my industry and not one of the top 3 has any videos. Not sure why they would be higher than me. Chuck, it also depends on the age of the listing. So if they claim they're listing like a year or 2 or 3 longer or before you, then that age is a factor. So you will have to do everything else that we talked about and then give it some more time. Age is a big factor with Google My Business. Does Google My Business also apply to churches? Yes, it very much so does. And do I have time for another example? Okay. Yes, so reviews will help. Doesn't help all the time, but it does help. Now, let me give you just one more example, and I'm just going to do, we'll say Baptist churches in Indianapolis. And now, again, we're in YouTube. Do you see what happens? There's still ads here, right? So if you have money for an ad budget, you can certainly do that. But it looks like this video was published March of 2020. Now, here's what I am suggesting. You can determine how easy or difficult ranking a video or your Google My Business listing by looking at the dates of certain things. So, especially in YouTube with videos. So, if this video was ranked, this year, then that means that there's not a lot of competition. And you could easily come in and usurp it, right? Usurp another result. So, don't think that you can't do it because you can. Now, let's see what happens when we go into Google and do Baptist churches in Indianapolis. What happens? Now I'm logged in, so my search results, I'm logged into my Gmail account. So my search results are going to be a little bit different than yours because Google is trying to give a personalized approach. So if you're going through this exercise with me, don't fret if your results are different than what you see on the screen because I'm logged in, I'm not logged out. And if you're logged in, then your results are probably going to be based upon your previous search results, right? So First Baptist Church of Indianapolis is coming up first for me. They have 12 reviews. Then Crossbridge has 6 reviews. And then Progressive has 13 reviews, right? So one of the things that you definitely would want to look for, and again, it's just an exercise, you're going to look at the last ranked Google 3-pack listing, and you're going to see what they have. You want to see if they have pictures. You want to see if they have a video. Now, you can't really determine what the age is, but if you see own this business, right? That means that what? They haven't claimed their listing. And so that means that with a little bit of work that you can come in and you're going to have to make sure that your listing is optimized with the pictures, the video, the reviews, the long-tailed keyword phrases, the about. And I suggest also, because what I don't see is I'm not seeing the post, right, being done either here. So if you do all of those things, then you're well on your way to unseating these people and getting into that Google 3-pack. Now, let me show you really quickly, and then I'll look into the chat for more questions, what the Google posts or Google My Business posts look like. And I'm going to, since we're on churches, I'm thinking about one that I know. Here. So this is a particular one, right? Now, if you take a look at this particular listing, this listing changes. So they don't rank for churches in Castlehane, NC. They rank for non-denominational church in Castlehane, NC in the top 3 Google pack, or top 3 Google My Business listing 3-pack. I'm sorry, say that 5 times, right? They have chosen not to try to rank for churches in Castlehane, NC. They're going after a smaller niche group. So if you can take a look at it, when we go in, there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 9 here. But what you are seeing is they've actually optimized their listing. They have the pictures here. They don't have the video. They actually have a 4.8 star ranking with 38 reviews. And if you scroll down, here starts the description, right? And then here are the updates. So they haven't done one in a while, so you don't see it. But if we say view previous updates, here are the ones that have expired. So we can go back and take a look at those updates, right? So remember I said that they expire, so you want to make sure that you have it on your schedule of going back and doing it every 7 days, but you can still see the previous updates. Okay, so you want to pick your long-tail keyword phrase that you want to rank for, and then make sure that if you can't get that, you do a second or third best one. Okay, so let me use one of your examples. Are they first because their name is closest to your search words? Are you talking, Garnett, about the church example? Can you give me an example? How could you tell what they ranked for the prior one? Okay, so we're not talking about the church. I'm looking at their category and then what I'm putting into search. Okay, there are 2 types. Give me some more. Okay, the Baptist church example, because I'm looking at what I put into Google, right? And then I'm looking based upon what their category is. So do you see how here we can say churches in Castlehane, NC, right? And let's just say we did Baptist. Now I happen to know this particular example of New Beginning personally. So if we put in Baptist churches in Castlehane, NC, I know what I put in Google search. So if Google does not have an exact match, they're going to put something that's closely related. If I go in and click, let's say one of these listings, then when it comes up, they're actually going to have a category as well. So I put in Baptist Church in Castlehane, NC, right? This is saying church in Wrightsboro, North Carolina. So Wrightsboro is an area, but it's not Castle Hayne, but it has an address of Castle Hayne Road. So Google is not an exact science. It will give you, if they can't find right away what you're looking for as an exact match, it will give you something closely related. So in some cases, just for you all's information, there have been situations where people have said, you know what, there are a ton of folks looking for an industry or a product or service and they're misspelling it, and they will purposely go after the misspelled um, listing because they know that Google keyword tool says that there are 1,000 people every single month that misspell it when they put into search. Sounds crazy, yes. But if there are 1,000 people that are looking at or putting into Google search the misspelling phrase, the misspelled version of a particular product or a niche or industry, is that easy pickings? I don't know. I don't think I would purposely go after it unless I was trying to make money fast, but it's an option. But that takes a little bit of research as well. So I hope that that answered your question, Garnett. Okay. Let me see if there were any other questions because we only have a few minutes left. Chuck said, is this a good YouTube title? Custom enclosed trailer, interior and exterior options. Yes, that could be, but what I would say is you definitely want, if you're going to use custom enclosed trailer, I would say custom enclosed trailer interior options and then do another YouTube video for exterior, right? Because it's based upon how many people are putting that into YouTube for search. So you don't want to do two in one particular title. You want to actually get as specific as possible. So it is 1:27, and I am truly enjoying all of the engagement in chat. You all have made this so much fun for me and so interactive. I really appreciate it. Let me do one other thing. Let me go back into actually going and sharing the final information, right? I want you all to do me a favor and make sure that you implement these things. So the first thing that I would recommend is that you choose at least 3, I prefer 5, but at least 3 long-tailed keyword phrases you want to rank for. And again, you can use tools like Uber Suggest or Google Keyword Planner, right? Whichever one you want to. They're both free, or you could do a paid one. Then evaluate your competition for each keyword phrase. Determine what content you need after that, right? Then make a plan and do it. A lot of this information, a lot of these strategies can be done this week in an afternoon, right? You just have to decide to make up your mind to do it, and then wait to see what the results are for. So it is 1:28. We did record this webinar, so we will be sending out the replay to everybody who registered, and we will also be sending out a copy of the slides. If you think you need more assistance, please feel free to schedule a mentoring session with SCORE at score.org. If you want even more information from me, you can get my free video course on how to get discovered online as 12 steps. Completely up to you, but a lot of these things you can do yourself, okay? A lot of these things you don't have to wait for assistance. You can get started yourself. So if there is nothing else, we have 1 more minute for the good of the order. I am going to stop sharing my screen right now and say, please stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you for attending. I appreciate all the engagement. And if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Okay. The other thing is we are sending out an evaluation. So please give us some feedback, okay? In the evaluation, let us know what we can do better. If you like a shorter version of this content in the form of a webinar. You prefer 45 minutes instead of 90 minutes. Let us know that too. If there's some topics that you need assistance with, share that with us and we will try to get that scheduled and planned. Again, please feel free to visit the folks at SCORE. SCORE Indianapolis has a wealth of experience and expertise with its vast number of mentors. They are doing tele-coaching sessions now, so over the phone and through Zoom. So you don't have a real reason to delay. Make sure you schedule a mentoring session right now. All right. Thank you again. Make it a great week and weekend. And if we can be assistance, don't hesitate to let us know. Thanks. Okay, so you are welcome, Garnett and Ted. I'm glad you found it helpful. Michelle, I appreciate you stopping in. Kurt, you're so very welcome. Don, I'm happy that you found it awesome. Rachel, I'm glad that you found it helpful as well. If anybody has a question, please let me know. I'm going to stick around till about 5 after or 1:35. Chuck, okay, Chuck at G2Gtrailers.com. Chuck, please send also visit SCORE as well, but I am making a note, Chuck, of your email address. Kalia, you're welcome. Last question. Can you delete photos posted by others? No. Sorry, Google doesn't allow you to do that. I would just say if you don't like the pictures that those people have shared, because anybody can share pictures for a Google My Business listing, then make sure that you add your own. Okay, so, and again, you want at least 10 to 15, but err on the side of more than less. Okay, Brian, you're welcome. Looks like Heidi, good luck with your business on accounting and QuickBooks consulting. That is super great. I think you will find that a lot of people need your help. I'm glad to know that you all found it helpful. Okay, so hopefully I got to your question. I see there are still about 17 people in the chat with me. If you have any more questions, please let me know. If not, I'm gonna sign off. Okay, somebody actually posted a YouTube, I think, video, so I'm gonna copy that and check that out. So if there's nothing else for the good of the order, to my 16 friends left, again, thank you for jumping on this webinar with me. I hope that you found it super helpful. Our host today was SCORE of Indianapolis. So if you need any additional assistance, whether it is marketing or otherwise, please call them or visit their website and schedule a session with a SCORE Indianapolis mentor. They're amazing. I think you will find it super helpful. Thank you. And once again, stay safe and stay healthy. Take care.